Test, test. Good evening, people. We're going to start the reining portion of tonight's clinic. I know there's still some people in line getting their food, but what I'm going to do first is read an introduction and give everybody a chance to get settled. And then I'm going to hand the mic over to our clinician, Josette Conti. This year we'd like to welcome Josette Conti as our guest clinician.
We finally got it.
I would first like to introduce Josette to you. Josette resides in Kutztown, Pennsylvania. She's been involved in horses her whole life. She started out riding jumpers and then made the switch to reining horses. Josette apprenticed under the NRHA's first $1 million money-earning and Hall of Fame inductee, Bill Horn. After she left Bill Horn's program, she was hired by C.T. Fuller, who owns the legendary Willowbrook Farm. While there, Josette worked with another Hall of Fame inductee and NRHA past president, Dick Pieper. Dick is the man responsible for the development and implementation of the NRHA's world-renowned and respected judges scoring system. While there, she also worked with trainer Mario Bougelet. After 17 years of employment at Willowbrook, Josette opened her own training facility, Josette Conti Performance Horses, and has been training and showing both NRHA World Champion horses and Morgan World and National Champion reining horses ever since. To date, Josette has brought more Morgan reining horses to the national and world reining titles than any other trainer. She debuted here at the Morgan Grand National in 1996 and won the Open Reining World Champion title on Donna Franchetti's gelding, Aquila's Diplomat. Last year, she piloted Cindy Nord's gelding, Disco Fever, to a co-world champion Snaffle Bit Hackmore title, and also Christine McKeegan's Petty Cash to an Open Reining World title. As an instructor, she has developed and coached several youth and non-pros to NRHA World Champion status. In the Morgan community, she coached two prominent saddle seat riders, Kathy Gutting and Alicia Frazier, to back-to-back national wins in the green reining class. In 2007, her non-pro rider, Ellen Palillo, won the non-pro NMRHA Derby Championship, a goal she had set for herself when she put her Morgan filly, Disco Patricia, in training with Josette 3 years ago. Josette has also coached non-pro rider Karen Myers and her mounts to numerous national and world titles. This evening, Josette is riding Disco Patricia, a 6-year-old daughter by the great reining horse, Twin Pond Disco Kid, and out of the reining sensation More Apples Please. Patty is owned and loved by Joe and Ellen Palillo of Mashopin, Pennsylvania. With Josette riding this evening is non-pro rider Karen Myers. Karen resides in Binghamton, New York, where she owns and operates Myers Performance Morgans. Along with raising and training her Morgan reining horses, Karen is also an NRHA judge, a QHA reining specialty judge, and a USEF small R reining judge. She is also an FEI reining steward. Karen began showing Morgan Raiders with the stallion Twin Pond Disco Kid. Since his first national win in the reining ring in 1992, Karen has brought him And More Apples Please, Petty Cash, and Winter Moon Waltz With Me to numerous world and reserve world and national titles. Karen's greatest achievement was in 2003 when she and More Apples Please, who was then 5 months pregnant, won the non-pro national title and ruled the Open and the non-pro world's titles. This evening, Karen is riding the 2000 National NMRHA Derby and Reserve World Champion Snafflebed Hackmore reining horse, Julie's Jansenat. JJ, as he's known, is a 12-year-old gelded son of none other than Twin Pond Disco Kid, and he is also available for purchase. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be introduced and educated about the world of reining by two reining world champions. Okay, I'm going to hand the mic to Josette now, and she'll get started.
Good evening. I'd like to thank all of you for having me today, and I really enjoy giving clinics and teaching people about reining. But like I always say, this is up to you. If you want a good clinic and you want to learn a lot, you have to ask questions. There is no question that is dumb. There is no question that shouldn't be asked. If you have a question in your mind, please ask me. I teach people all the time. I train horses. Please, I want to know anything that you need to know or you are wondering about with reining. Please feel free to raise your hand and ask me. And if you don't like to talk in front of anybody, I'm sure you're afterwards. You can come up and ask me in private, and I'll give you the best answer I can and the most help I can. I'm going to start out here saying that I believe no matter what discipline you do with any style of horses, they need to be broke. They need to be willingly guided with your hands and your legs, and they need to have a good attitude for it, and they need to be happy to do their job. If they're not happy to do their job, then I believe you as a horseman need to find another job for them. And that's probably one of the most important things that I feel with reining horses. Sometimes these days I see a lot of harshness coming into our industry sometimes, and it bothers me. But to be honest with you, a lot of these horses, if they're brought up the right way and they're trained slowly, they do like their job. So I am really a kind of a trainer that takes my time with the horses and with people. I like a lot of foundation on my horses, and I like a lot of foundation with my people. I'm going to start out tonight on padding, doing some basics. I want any questions answered. I also then am going to go ahead and start doing the maneuvers and defining what the proper way to spin, stop, change leads, and circle. And afterwards, I want to get into a little bit about showing, show strategy, and how to run your patterns. I've been coming to the Morgan World Show for many years now. I see a lot of people that love this sport and are very interested in it. But when I watch the non-pro classes, there's a lot of talent and a lot of good horses. But because there's not a lot of ratings for these horses to go to, a lot of people are getting zeros and going off patterns, and it's just frustrating because there's not a lot of places for them to go to get the experience and have the miles on them that they need to. And I've been wanting to do a clinic here for a few years because I can help you. We shouldn't have any zeros. We should at least get through our pattern and be correct as we can. And I want to help you define what the playing field is for reining and how to lay down the proper pattern. So I'm going to start out with the horses, and I'm going to start out defining so you know what you're looking at. Then we're going to go into a little bit more about showing. And I'm going to have to put the mic down, but at any time that I'm doing anything or talking, and anybody wants to ask me a question, please raise their hand and ask me. And I'm going to yell as best I can. Okay, like I said, we're going to start out in any discipline. I don't care what you do. Pleasure horses, reining horses, barrel horses, jumping horses, massage horses, whatever. A horse has got to be willing to accept its bridle. It's got to be willing to accept your legs, your hands. Your hands are so important on this horse and his mouth to have the proper equipment as far as bits, curve change, if you use spurs. You need to get it checked. If you have any questions, you need to ask professionals what the good things are and the right things are to use. I like to teach my horses to start out and be soft in their bridle rein and their mouth. I like them to bend in their neck, into their face. Really, I can pick this rein up and she's willingly leaving her head and following my rein and following my hand. My inside leg will create a little bit of a bend. I use that right at my girth, and that kind of bends her rib cage around my legs. behind my girth, that'll keep my forward motion going. So this horse walks forward, walks softly, and walks into her bridle. And as you can see, this needs to be done with any kind of horse. Reining horse, pleasure horse, anything. But I want them to be willing. And if I start this horse out and she is not willing, or she's confused, or she's scared, I will not go on to any other step until I have a horse that's confident and happy to walk a circle and bend. Now the other thing, I want to make sure their teeth are done. I want to make sure they're not sore anywhere. I want to make sure their hops are good. You've got to check all these things when you have a problem with the horse. You want this horse to be happy and be pain-free to do its job no matter what it is. Again, I would like to take an inside rein, an inside leg, and create a nice supple, a nice bend, and have this horse following her nose. Go to the left, and then bend to the right. And I'll do this along with my 2-year-old. When I get saddle breaking in my 2-year-old, I really don't need the deck to do much more than following her nose, learning about my hands, learning about my legs, and learning to accept the job that I'm going to have for them. So we start out with a nice bend and a nice supple, and let them follow their nose. After I have it at a walk, I'll pick it up into a trot. Again, what might happen when you start this, you might lose a little bit of forward motion, or you might find that you lose a little bit of their mouth. They might stiffen up on you. You might have to go back to that walk, and after the walk, and maybe add a little bit more of it at a walk. Then when you go up into that trot, go ahead and be a little softer and gradually add to the walk. So that at the beginning, to start out with a nice bend and a nice softness. And the other thing you create at the same time is you create a horse to be very willing. They learn a work ethic. If a horse does not have a work ethic, the horse isn't going to be able to learn to do anything, just like a person. You need to create a proper work ethic before this horse can go on to do anything else. Now with a reining horse, different from a pleasure horse or a dressage horse or a jump or anything, this horse has nothing to think about but me, the rider. So I've got to educate this horse to listen to me and to be totally tuned to me. A pleasure horse has the rail, a jumper has a jump to focus on, a cutting horse has a cow to focus on, a dressage horse has a lot of hand and leg. Our definition for a reining horse is willingly guided with little to no apparent movement from the rider. So this horse mentally has got to be totally tuned in to me. And believe me, they can come up with a lot of excuses why not. Come on, as long as they can hear me. I don't know if I can carry that as, you know what I mean? Like, I'll try to try. Everybody can't hear me, please. Yeah. I'll try to hold it. Hold on. Okay, this is okay, now again, we're back to being supple. I want to make this sure this horse is willing, listens to my legs, and after I get a little suppleness out of this horse and bending and walking around my legs, then I'm going to teach this horse to move off my leg, and I want to walk a nice circle, and I'm going to apply a little inside leg, and I'm going to have this horse move out of the circle. I'm going to move off my leg a couple steps, and then I'm going to take my inside leg off and let her walk forward. This, after I did my bend and I created her hand and got her to listen to my hands, then I'm going to start to teach her with my leg. And as she's walking and bending this circle, I'm going to apply an inside leg, let her step out of her circle, take my leg off, let her follow her nose. Does everybody see that? And I'm not leaving it on for very long. I'm not here to abuse her, I'm here to teach her. And when